Welcome back to I'm Every Woman TV. We're joined now by Ilina Trowles, who is going to talk to us a little bit about what 2014 holds for us gals. And I think it's going to be very interesting. She specializes in Western astrology. Welcome, Ilina.
Thank you.
Look at how great and sexy she looks today in the year of the woman and the wooden horse. Well, I know you don't handle the feng shui stuff, but it is the year of the woman's wooden horse for the
That's
woman.
true.
And that's on the Eastern or the more Chinese type of feng shui. We're going to stick to the Western one today, which is great because I've read up on that too. So, Ilina, you call yourself a predictive astrologer,
Yes.
intuitive, and relationship specialist. What exactly does that mean? And what do you do for the clients? Tell us what that means and what you do. And were you born sort of intuitive, or did you learn to be that way?
Both.
Okay.
I was born that way, and definitely with the blessings of intuition. But also, I've been studying all my life astrology. So basically, as a professional astrologer, I specialize. Well, you see, I call myself an Astro Coach because it's not only about the readings and predictions and everything. It's a little bit more than that. It's more personalized and helping people actually dealing with their challenges in daily life and just helping them through transitions, which astrology explains, all those points very insightfully and in depth. And basically, this is what I do.
Okay. So why do you think women are so fascinated with astrology?
Well, mainly everybody wants to know what future holds. That's number one thing that puzzles us humans since the dawn of mankind. So basically, we're all curious what tomorrow will bring, number one. Number two, women especially, very much attuned to astrological studies because, the relationships, compatibility between lovers and signs, it's just our nature, we're very curious. So, but men are very interested too. I have lots of male clients. Okay.
Now, how can we use astrology in our life to better our relationships? And by that, I mean, it could be between like partners or lovers, but it might also work with mothers and daughters, business partners. There's lots of different relationships, sisters, friends. How can we use astrology to better our relationships?
Well, simply by learning more about our natal chart. Natal chart is a moment of your birth. Everyone is unique because the hour of birth and time and place determines that. So basically, by giving an effort to learn more about who we are, whether through astrology or through some other spiritual studies and doctrines and stuff like that, we basically allowing ourselves to get in touch with our higher selves. And when it comes to astrological stuff, and studies and all these, points that you just mentioned, once we find out more who we are, then it's easy to learn about other people and how we can coexist, how we can, live together and better ourselves. I often say that astrological natal chart of a person, it's a birth blueprint of a soul, because that little chart, have you ever seen it? You did your studies.
I did. I'm very into astrology myself.
Yes.
So I have seen it. And of course, we had an awesome conversation, you and I, 2 days ago, because you had done some neonatal readings on me. And, one of the things we talked about, which I would like to address right here in the show, is that, sometimes as women, we don't treat other women so kindly. And I think you made a good point there about knowing more about yourself and being more confident, and rather than maybe insecure, because sometimes when we don't treat each other so kindly, it's because we're coming from a place of insecurity rather than a place of confidence. Would you like to comment on that?
Absolutely. Well, I'm saying that from experience, from personal experience, and from my clients and everybody, that I'm so very grateful that they're teaching me so much through those readings and our contacts that we have. Simply, us women, I think this is the biggest obstacle, as you mentioned. we have to, once we get comfortable with who we are, and the most important part, once we accept that we have to, acceptance is very important, because let's be honest, not everyone is the most beautiful one, not every woman is the most educated, talented, but nonetheless, that doesn't mean that we are less equal. Absolutely not. We actually, humans, we set these rules, and I think it's very predominant in our female society now that we sometimes use these rules against each other, opposed to just cooperating with one another. We kind of using against each other. So what I'm striving when my clients come to see me, number one thing, and many people know me and they know I blog about this every single day, the importance of being comfortable with who you are. Because you cannot escape from this skin, not at least in this lifetime. So you might as well embrace it. And you know what? Let's be honest. Maybe we cannot be all movie stars and singers, famous people. But you know what? We are who we are, and we gotta make the best out of it. If we don't deal with that, then the insecurities kicks in, jealousy, envy, which honestly, I know I've been dealing with that all my life, just with the people that I interact. And it's actually pretty bad, but I think we're getting more aware of it.
Well, now it's funny, when you talk about awareness, I think one of the things that women do, especially maybe when they're younger, I know I've been very guilty of this myself, is I turn to the astrology books to get some insight into who I am. So for example, I'm born under the sign of Leo, and I would read up everything about Leo to say, oh yeah, that's like me, that's so like me, that's not like me, and oh yeah, these are my perfect matches, I should be with an Aries, this type of thing. So my question is, like for this year in prediction in 2014 in Western Astrology, can you give me kind of one thing that a fire sign can expect, as well as like an air sign, earth, and water? So like one thing that they might be in for this year.
Okay.
For each of the groups of signs.
Well, I would rather narrow it down, because I'm going to be honest with you, we're going to need a way more time than we have for me to really elaborate for everybody. But I'm just going to focus on upcoming transits that are actually happening now. Okay. In March, we have, apologies. In February, we have a Mercury goes retrograde. We have a planet Jupiter opposing Pluto. Then we have an upcoming Saturn retrograde. So how this is going to play out in a nutshell, like for instance, take a Jupiter opposing Pluto. It's a big generation, like a big transit in the sky that are going to affect all of us. It's great time for like some real inner search for the core values. It's time for pursuing the business, but as well working on ourselves, stuff that they have to come from inside out. Actually, it could be very successful time, extremely successful time, because Jupiter is in Cancer, so a lot to do with the fires, with the water signs, but we all going to be affected. Again, depends where it falls, which area of your life affects in your birth chart. Then Saturn retrograde is kicking in. It's not the best time to initiate new business at that time. I do lots of business partnerships, so I have to mention that. But it's a great time for ongoing projects or something that we have to conclude, or just, tie up the loose ends. Okay. And of course, Mercury retrograde, beautiful time for some soul searching, for some research, preparation. I always call it like planning in the hindsight. So basically this is going to keep us occupied till May. So a lots of business opportunity to work on ourselves, on our spirituality, and especially Jupiter Pluto position could bring a lots of hidden and buried stuff that we have to deal with. So if you're trying to meet people that you haven't seen in a long time, or maybe make a peace with some of the people, just reconcile, reconnect, and at the same time do yourself a huge favor by working on all your challenges and all the things that are kind of bothering you. Now is the time to do that, in a nutshell.
We're running out of time, so I'm going to ask you one last question, and I want to leave time for your promo and your great giveaway as well. So the question I'm going to ask you is, You talk about, you have the specialty as a compatibility relationship specialty. What in your opinion makes two people compatible? It doesn't necessarily have to be for love, but what are what do you think are the elements that make two people compatible or not?
Well, in astrology, I mean, I can sit here and talk for another 10 hours about compatibility between signs and personal signs and whatever, moon signs, so on and so forth. But in a nutshell, I will tell you, I mean, just a quick thing, the main thing that makes people compatible is beside love and passion that always has to be in the mix or some kind of affinities. But the most important thing is understanding and acceptance of your partner, you know, mutual. We have to mutually, you know, be
understanding, respectful,
and understand. I think this is the number one thing. Without that, there is no compatibility that would work for you if you don't have this dose of understanding and maturity.
Okay, so we're really running out of time, and I want to just get a couple things in.
Please.
You offer a lot of different
Yes.
services. So there's readings, there's workshops, there's events. You go to events. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Just a quick thing. Well, lately I've been really honored that I had opportunity to do my mini readings, mini astrological readings for the charity and fundraiser events. Makes me very proud to help, you know, raise the money for the good cause, of course, which obviously everything, all proceedings went to the charities. So this is one part of me giving back to the community because I do not have time to volunteer. I'm really busy. And basically I'm doing everything from yearly readings, compatibility for lovers and business partners as well. And also a lot of lately I started more into my Astro Coaching, which is a thing that I'm developing, coaching techniques, but they're applying only specifically to a person and their birth charts. So from analyzing their birth charts and stuff like that.
Okay, so it's very unique life coaching.
Yes.
We have to wrap up. I want to tell you that you can find out more about Ilina on her website at www.astrocoach.ca, www.astrocoach.ca. You can quickly give us your phone number. 647-295-9382. That's my direct line. And I want to mention her giveaway today. She's giving away 30 minutes of a predictive reading through Skype or phone, and it's worth $60 to the first lady who calls me in at 416-802-0655. If you want to know more about what the future holds or focus in predominantly on your own sign, this would be great. Again, it's worth $60 and you claim it by calling 416-802-0655. Thank you so much for being with us today, Ilina. We had so much to talk about. We'll have to get you back.
Thank you.
And please stay with us. We'll be right back for the fempreneur in you, the woman business owner in you. I've got 4 of my best marketing to-dos this year to make sure you're very profitable. Stay with us. We'll be right back on I'm Every Woman TV.